Erin is the creative director and co-founder of Kadwood Atelier, an Australian tailoring house dedicated exclusively to women. With over 15 years in fashion design and styling, she creates made-to-measure garments that explore identity, confidence, and craftsmanship, championing Australian merino wool and a more intentional approach to contemporary dressing. Please welcome Erin.
Thank you so much. You got it. All right. Okay, well, let me tell you, there's nothing like the smell of an Italian breakfast on the week of your wedding. Espresso and cigarettes filled the air as I walked up to the Airbnb. Our wedding is in 6 days. Wedding planning can be a little bit stressful, and look, we were none the less ambitious than, all the other couples. A destination wedding, 4 days, 3 celebrations, 2 Indian ceremonies, and 1 white wedding. All in a remote 6th century castle in Italy. Months of planning, and the date was set. April 20, 2020. Glad you guys got that one, yeah. So 6 weeks out from our date, we got the news of COVID and we had to postpone. 2 years later, 3 more postponements, and being on that balcony in Milan felt pretty surreal. And as I'm taking yet another Instagram story, my best friend Molly calls me. For the first time in years, we're actually in the same hemisphere. Molly and I met when we were 18. It was our first job out of school, and there was 1 position available, yet they hired us both. So we took that as a sign from the universe that we were both a package deal, and together we figured out how to be adults together in our 20s. But after being back and forth and exploring every Australian visa available for someone whose professional skills included juggling and acrobatics, she exhausted every option. Molly always says, my passport's Swedish, my blood is Danish, but my heart is Australian. And so I answered Molly's call. Buongiorno, babe. When are you getting in? Erin, stop. I heard something in her voice that I'd only ever heard in the deepest Scandinavian winters when the seasonal depression had kicked in. Erin, my brother's been missing for a few days. And well, they've found him. He's done it. I instantly knew what she meant. Molly and I had spoken extensively about this. Long nights on the phone. Well, my nights with a glass of wine and her mornings making breakfast, or my mornings and her nights as she roller skated back from work. See, her brother Milton had been living with debilitating OCD for years, and well, he decided that he couldn't live with it anymore. In that moment, all the noise in Milan seemed to drain out of the air, but it still kept moving. In the middle of what's meant to be the most happiest week of my life, the person that I love so much is experiencing the worst week of hers. I didn't know how both of those things could coexist at the same time. Molly immediately slipped into practical efficiency, a symptom of long-distance relationships. Okay, so I'm gonna fly home and I'll be with Mum, and then I can come to Italy, don't worry. I won't be able to meet you in Milan, but I'm going to come and I'll figure out how to get there. I did happen to choose a 6th century castle in the middle of the Italian countryside, which was an hour from a train and 2 hours from the closest airport. So with no time to spare, I quickly started a group chat named Get Molly to the Castle. I weaponized the fear of disappointing this bridezilla because I didn't wait 3 years and 4 COVID postponements for my best friend to not be at this wedding. I implemented the full logistical help of my brother-in-law-to-be, and I got him to coordinate flights, trains, and what felt like half the timetables across Europe. A few days later, she walked into my room at the castle, bridesmaid dress in hand, grief in another. My mum walked straight up to Molly, wrapped her arms around her, and not just a polite hug, not an awkward, oh, I'm so sorry for your loss, but a hug only a mum can give. because Molly had somehow carried unimaginable grief across continents so that she could stand beside me. And a day later, we were dancing around my dressing room, singing every word to Aretha Franklin's Respect, R-E-S-P-E-C-T. And that night, I read my wedding speech. I'm so glad that you're all here with us tonight. I'm told that the big moments in life are worth celebrating. And what a way to celebrate. I've always thought that friendships, though I know that friendships aren't made of these big moments in life. Friendships are made of a million little things. The calls, the texts, the FaceTimes, the check-ins, the memes, the messages, the letters across the world, the parcels, the packages, the postcards, hundreds of words sent back and forth that got us through these last three years and to exactly this moment here tonight. I put my hand on Molly's shoulder as we both hold back our tears, and I say, words cannot describe the deep gratitude I have for all of you for making this journey all the way here. My husband and I then planned a honeymoon in London, but a week later, he takes all of our luggage stuffed full of a wedding dress and celebration outfits, and I board a flight to Sweden. A 3-hour flight of overthinking and how underprepared I am. I don't have the right clothes for this. I'd packed for a honeymoon when I had left. I wasn't ready for heartbreak. The crisp Swedish air created a layer of fog surrounding the church as we all filed in. And my lilac coat glowed against the sea of black. As the priest began singing a hymn, something caught everyone's attention. A large black butterfly appeared, fluttering high above Milton's coffin. It hovered there for a moment. And as heads started to turn, and I caught the eye of someone also trying to see if they're seeing what I'm seeing, Molly grabbed my hand. Maybe your wedding was delayed. Maybe it was always meant to be when it was, just so you could be here with me. In that moment, I was exactly where I needed to be. Growing up, I had so many ideas of what good friendship looked like. I thought that a best friend was a person who would celebrate your birthdays or go shopping with, or, take your side when you both in an argument when you both knew that you were wrong. And it's wonderful to have people who can celebrate your wins, who can dance at your wedding or make you laugh until your stomach hurts. But to be trusted enough to show up for the worst, to sit beside someone when there are no words, to stand with someone when they can't and shouldn't have to stand alone. One of the greatest gifts Molly had ever given me wasn't coming to my wedding. It was letting me come to the funeral. She didn't protect me from the grief because it was too uncomfortable. She didn't pretend she was okay so that I wouldn't worry. She let me see her exactly how she was. She trusted me enough to carry a tiny piece of the weight with her. I think that that's what deep friendship is really. Showing up as you are, fully unprepared, not fixing each other, just allowing someone else to witness your life in all the joy and all the heartbreak. Love isn't measured by who celebrates with you. It's measured by who trusts you with their pain. Because in the end, the greatest privilege isn't having people show up for your story. It's being invited into theirs.